Yo, what's up, everybody? We are Easy Allies. Welcome to the Hall of Greats. It's our Tuesday night group stream, but every 4.5 to 5 months, we induct 2 games into our Easy Allies Hall of Greats. Damiani's running around checking the camera, but we should take a gander at the games that have already been inducted. How this goes, every ally that is here tonight has brought a game, including Damiani, that's at the controls, that they want to have inducted, that they believe is one of the greatest games ever made, and they want it to be inducted into the Hall of Greats. They make their case for 5 minutes. We cross-examine for 5 minutes, asking questions, bringing up possible things, reasons why it couldn't or shouldn't be in the Hall of Greats, and then we vote. We say the 3 games that we are voting for to all of you in a private session here in the room, and then we all come back in. Damiani tallies the votes, lets us know what 2 games get in there. We laugh, we cry, we kiss 2 hours goodbye.
I thought you were going to say we kiss each other. And I was like, okay, I guess we're at that point.
The evening's young.
You all agree to tradition.
I'm going to enjoy it at the end. Just a giant makeout session at
the end. There's a lot of switching around
of
picks ahead of time.
Dude, I want to know what happened after this is over.
As a result, there's a game that multiple of you wanted to pick that is not going to be here.
Yeah. What? Multiple people picked this game, and now no one's bringing it.
I find that very amusing. Okay.
Oh my god, that's very funny.
Shoulder guy, Jabberap, thank you everybody, 737. Thank you mods for controlling the chaos tonight. A little baby shuffle and then we'll be on our way,
Hall of Greats gives me nervous sweats and 10 out of 10 anxiety, so I hope you're happy, Chad.
10 out of 10.
I hope you're really happy.
This is like the least nervous I've been for a Hall of Greats.
You gotta be kind to yourself sometimes.
Yeah. I think you're right, Joe.
It's like after you have a big meal, you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
Let's have a salad tomorrow. All right. Ben, you want to cut that?
Cut the deck.
Dude, hell yeah.
Nice. Coming up first, me. Oh my goodness.
Stacked.
Are we turning off?
Stacked it.
Are we turning off chat?
Oh.
Yeah, we have to.
Shut him down.
What's wrong?
Goodbye, chat.
Or we shut down chat when we vote because there's no.
I don't want him on. I don't want him on.
All right.
No, I think during the presentations it fucks with me.
Jones can do it if he wants.
It's your call if you want to see chatter.
I like to see him during
I don't mind either way. Yeah, of course.
On or off?
So the video, no music, no nothing. Just got my
Jones
on off.
I heard my dreams. Oh, off.
On off.
It's fine.
On off.
All right, Jones.
Someone got the time.
Who's got the timer?
Oh shit, that's my job.
Yeah, that's your job.
Shut up. I was on vacation. I forgot all of you existed.
I only have one
Back
job.
to work, motherfucker.
But I'm gonna do it.
All right, 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
5
minutes.
No, we changed that while
Don, do you need any minutes? I definitely have extra.
No time minutes.
Whoa!
You're
gotta figure that out
tonight, Don.
Whoa!
I think I've got an extra 30 seconds.
Don
Are you ready?
Don is the minute thief. I'm 100% ready.
All right, I'll start when
I
you
was born ready to
start.
talk about this game. Sweet.
Is that part of it?
No.
Okay.
You would have started by now.
All right. This game has impressive numbers. This game is extremely relevant. I think this is definitely one of the great games, and I think there's a lot of people that would agree with me. I'm going to talk about the numbers very briefly, and then I'm going to get into emotionally where I stand with this game, because this game is extremely successful. As a matter of fact, if Wikipedia is to be believed, this is the most successful. This is the best-selling video game ever created. 200 million copies sold, and 126 million active users. But I want to talk about my favorite players. That include Brent Phillips, Amanda Troop, Isla Hink, Marco Rosado, and my godsons Max and Otto, whom I all played Minecraft with.
Oh.
And I think Minecraft is a very special game.
I thought it was GTA.
For reasons that I would express. We'll get there eventually. Brent Phillips was the first person I ever played Minecraft with. He told me all about it. He wouldn't look anything up on the internet. He was like, no, I just want to put things into this weird 9-space grid and see what pops out. And he was just, whereas like I immediately went to the internet and was like, that's how you make a shovel. And we had a world together, and it was the first video game I think I've ever played where like I would go into the game and the environment would change because of stuff my friends were doing. And not just in a way of like, oh, we got a trophy from like beating a boss or something. It was like, there wasn't a cave there. Like, there were a bunch of trees there. Where did they go? Like, he built a house. Like, I can tell he's been here because of like remnants of his activity. Then I stopped playing. Then I started playing again when Amanda got into it. And that was a different kind of fun because we made a house together. And there still wasn't a game that we played together like that, you know, as a couple because of how unconstraining it was, like how we could really just kind of make that environment anything we wanted to. My godsons Max and Otto, who I think at the time were like 8 and 4. I got to go into their worlds, so we didn't build anything together, but I got to. It wasn't just like like Uncle Brandon, look at this, and like, yeah, okay, I have 2 seconds like to look at your Switch. Like, I was comfortably seated at my desk across the internet, like going into their house and like seeing their farm, like nice chickens, guys, this is great. And like again, just I can't think of another game where I've done that. And you with Seedlings, like that, I was the narrator, and I did pop up I was an old man in one episode.
I remember.
And that was very fun to see that come together. That was kind of like, a nice box peek thrill before box peek. And Marco Rosado, Marco Rosado, creator extraordinaire, who I would walk in and he'd be like, yes, I cut this video for game trailers, but in this other window, do you notice these 8 airships all lined up together? And so this is not just like videos I watch, this is not just stuff that like I know you can achieve or I've seen people do in Minecraft. This is like stuff that video game experiences I've had with other people that I know who play video games that I got to connect with, all in different ways, and we were all playing the same game. We were all playing the game the way the game allowed us to be, to play it. Yes, there are objectives now. Yes, there's a survival aspect if you don't just want to go into creation. But it's such a blank canvas and inspired. I wrote down just like Roblox, Infinity, Dreams, Fortnite. Like there's so many games that came out and they were like, we have to have some sort of creative element because there's so many people who grew up with Minecraft. They're just like, I have to build something. I got to put blocks down. I have to make this area my own and represent myself creatively. And like, I think that started, I think 2009 was a big year for that. And still, I don't know how much time I have left.
144.
Still one of the scariest games I've ever played in my entire life. You would open up a cave and hear, like, I know there's spiders in there, but I can't see anything. And, like, the tension of having, like, a diamond pickaxe and just, like, walking across lava and being like, I can't. Like, how many times I would knock a block over me and see lava for a hot second and then be like, and put the block back and be like, it's fine. Like, I'm not going to go in there. And just deep oceans, which is my #1 phobia, just combating that. Like, having the gumption to put the giant glass basement underneath my castle that just looked out into the ocean and realizing, like, as I'm digging down, like, this is a bad idea because, like, I'm going to get sucked out of this and just wind up in the ocean when there's things that want to kill me and stuff. And obviously it's just a huge game, so I knew I'd have to bring some sort of emotional element to counteract the fact that it's obviously, Minecraft kind of reminds me of Disney, where it's like, I don't love all of it. Like, I don't love it for how big it is, for how much it kind of like gobbles up so many, so much of children entertainment, in ways that have even nothing to do with the video game. But at the same time, like, I've connected with people in ways that are undoubtedly great, in my opinion. And one of these days I'll probably get back into that damn game, but I have managed to not play it for a while because it's very addicting. Just like World of Warcraft, which is previously on Greatest. Thank you very much.
Good job, Jones. Great job, Jones.
Left over.
I'm keeping that. I'm not giving that to anybody.
Nice.
I earned those.
Nice. We can make your Crysis.
If I get Minecraft to Hall of Greats, I have that and those 23 seconds at the end of the evening.
All right.
Okay.
Oh wait, 5 minutes.
Yeah, whenever someone starts asking something.
Jones, so Minecraft is an interesting game because it was so influential, and so many things since Minecraft have taken from Minecraft and really kind of evolved it into their own thing. And I would say, like, one of those things that they've done is they've taken kind of elements of Minecraft, but then told stories with them. And obviously, part of the joy of Minecraft is, like, telling your own story. But I think, like, the story mode that is in Minecraft is just okay. Like,
Right.
like it's just, it has, like, some mystery to it, and it has some stuff to it. And it's, like, I feel like Minecraft... I guess, like, I think there are, like, other things that I think about now where it's like, I can get what Minecraft gives me and get something else.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it is tough because I did think about that in relation to, like, do you praise Minecraft for being the progenitor, or would you look at other games that have definitely, because it's such an easy thing to do. And I'm actually really addicted to Valheim right now, which has made me think of Minecraft for Hall of Greats, because I've been chasing this dragon for a long time, ever since I started playing Minecraft.
Right.
And even something like Dragon Quest Builders, I adore, but I bounce off that so quickly when I hit credits. I'm like, I'm good. If there's some extra stuff, like, yeah, maybe I'll check that out. I just think you hit the nail on the head when you said story mode. That like it's kind of the same thing between survival and artistic. You know, it's like some people would be like, I wouldn't touch artistic with a 10-foot pole. You gotta have survival. You gotta have the eating food and all of that stuff. So I like that it is in a way that you might not expect, like a fighting game to have, you know, a stellar story, or if you weren't really interested in it, separating it from the other modes so that one doesn't require you to play the other. I think that lessens the blow. But yeah, that's definitely something that I play now. And there's one of the biggest things coming to a frame trap in the future, you know, whenever I talk about Valheim, just the fact that it like guides you. It's like, do this in kind of this order because you want to get somewhere. Whereas in Minecraft, it's just like, have fun, don't die. Hold on to your stuff as long as you can.
Jones, do you think Minecraft today is still as exciting? Like, has the game aged well enough, or has it been just so beaten into the ground, other genres have evolved it?
Yeah.
Do you think it still has the excitement today?
I think it does, because I feel bad whenever I see new, whether it's like a really cool indie game or even something like Dreams, you know, that's coming out swinging and really wants to get a community that's very productive together. Like, that's so tough. It's like an MMO. It's like you're pulling somebody, you know, that's like a lifestyle shift for some people to like completely abandon one thing and adopt to something else. It's been around for so long, it's so established, it's been ported so many times that like that engine is humming, like those factories are going. And so it's just, if you decide to like kind of dip your toe into that world, like there's a lot of really, really cool stuff. And there's a lot of really fun things people can still do with it.
Like making shows.
Do you think that Netflix needs to communicate their wants,
Right.
their desires better?
Need to make it a little more of a crystal clear. Yeah.
Never
Netflix,
mind, don't
Netflix
answer
and,
that.
and Twitter check marks. Both of those are
Yeah,
a
don't
mystery.
answer
A mystery.
Mystery.
What they, yeah.
Like,
what
oh,
they
you
need.
wanted it to still look like Minecraft.
Right,
Okay,
right.
great.
They know what they want, but they don't know what they want.
Do you think Minecraft is an accessible game? Do you think if I'm not a creative human
Yeah.
or non-creative humans, can non-creative people have fun in Minecraft?
Yes,
Is what I'm saying.
yes.
Is
I think at its core, even more so than Fortnite, you know, it's like I think that the mode I love to play more than anything in Fortnite, I think is not as awesome as I would never ever bring
Love that
Fortnite to
question.
home.
It sounded like a new race. Like, oh, I am a non-creative.
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 Right, yeah, form.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
If so, explain why. I can't.
I can't think of it.
Is it
I'm not a
too
creative.
reliant on multiplayer, Jones? Does it hold your attention if you're
Oh,
just
man.
a lone person
Oh,
without
I mean,
friends or something?
Guilty as charged, you know? Like, me, the Disneyland freak, I was like, there are train tracks? Oh, no. You know, like,
Yeah.
I had to connect everything that I was doing, you know, and, like, discovering a whole new biome, and, again, just that risks of, like, I don't feel that way in other RPGs. Like, I always feel like, that's why I seek out games where you have this creative element or you have this sense of randomness, because it's like, as scary as a game like Souls can be, it's like, I know that hallway goes the way the developers wanted it to, whereas like you open up a cave in Minecraft and it's like, no one on planet Earth knows what's in there. Like,
Yeah.
you just gotta go in and hope it's not lava, or hope somebody doesn't blow up right next to me.
9 seconds.
I'm taking that too. 23 plus
You don't get this. We have to
Oh.
burn this out.
Oh, never mind.
3, 2, 1.
Great job.
I didn't mean to open it.
Great job. Great
No.
I was
job.
like, oh no, I was coming back for this one.
Hey, they're lost, man.
All right. Yes, that works. Number 2. Brad.
All right. Damiani, I will give you the signal.
Nice.
Make it very clear. Make it a very clear signal.
I do.
Dude, old school printing it off, man.
Vice
yeah.
of papier.
If I don't have something written, I'll just ramble about nothing.
Yeah, no.
forever.
I respect it, but like the paper.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Something magical about. I got like
that.
notes. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this doesn't make sense.
Redacted stuff.
Only thing
I
missing
love
is
it.
a red pen.
I know. I know.
Dude, Bloodward's
B
got it.
minus.
Bloodward's got the red.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Bloodward has the red pen. The red pen is on vacation.
Okay, you ready, Isla?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not ready. Wait.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good luck, Brad.
Thanks.
Good luck, Damiani and
luck.
Brad.
Are they double teaming it?
I guess.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Go ahead.
Remember to commute, say play video.
I will tell you when to, clearly.
Okay.
Okay. Today, the game I'm bringing is a classic. It's a game that's been burned into most of our minds over the years, and just hearing a tune from it triggers a wave of joy into my mind. It's a game that I can constantly come back to, and no matter how many times I complete it, it's always a pleasure to revisit. My nomination for the Hall of Greats is Damiani. Hit it right now.
Oh damn.
Oh shit.
It's Super Mario World. Now, we all know Super Mario 3 is one of the greats, but what makes Super Mario World so awesome is how well it builds off Mario 3. First thing I want to talk about is the sense of freedom it provides. While you can still move from stage to stage on a map like Mario 3, its world is now interconnected with tons of optional content for you to discover. You can also now move freely back and forth between stages, allowing you to complete any challenges you may have missed along the way. It adds a great sense of discovery and makes the world feel more fleshed out. The levels themselves also offer more freedom than previous entries, with many having secret exits that require keys or specific power-ups to access, adding a replay value to the stages. These exits are also how you access Star Road, a bonus world with more advanced levels as well as shortcuts that allow you to easily move through the world. You can even get to Bowser's Castle early if you know what you're doing. Additionally, if you complete all of Star Road, you unlock the Special World with the hardest levels in the game if you want to put your skills to the test. Super Mario World also introduced one of my personal favorites to the Mario series, the Ghost Houses, which requires some light puzzle solving to get through. Each of the 8 castles you visit along your journey are a blast to go through and offer up some neat ideas like climbing on chain link fences and punching Koopas into lava, and some simple but fun boss fights. Mario also received some nice upgrades this time around, like the spin jump you can use to bounce off enemies or break blocks, as well as the majestic feather that allows Mario to fly through the air. The most significant addition, though, is Yoshi, your lovable dinosaur companion. Not only is this dino an unkillable tank, but he can also devour almost any enemy in the blink of an eye and spit out Koopa shells. There are also different color Yoshis to find in each Star Road level that has a unique bonus, like the yellow one that can slam the ground while the blue one can fly. And while some people out there may be rude or dismissive about Yoshis, they're all tens and loyal companions that are more than willing to take a hit to make the play. Like all great platformers, Super Mario World feels great to play. Mario's movement is fantastic, and jumping and running your way through various challenges still holds up wonderfully today. In fact, its movement and mechanics are so good it spawned a large modding community like Kaizo Mario World, and it's likely that games like Super Mario Maker wouldn't exist without it today. Super Mario World is a classic that remains engaging even 31 years after its release. It's a monumental title that's changed the Mario series and platformers forever and helped kick off the Super Nintendo in style. Most of all, though, it's still a lot of fun and one of the easiest games to recommend to anybody out there, period.
That's it. You got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes? I'll give them to Don then.
All right.
Don will use them.
Starts to add up.
Nightmare, Don. Good job, Don.
Thank you. How do I know Don's at the bottom of that card stack? It's just it's the way it's shuffled
He's gonna
out.
have 15 minutes.
It's the way it's shuffled out.
He'll use them all.
All according to plan.
Okay, I'll start the
Yeah.
time because I have a question. You said Yoshis.
There's multiple Yoshis in it.
Is it more than one Yoshi?
They're
Or-
all called Yoshis.
Yes.
But the green one is
There's
just the green one.
Yeah, there's the green one, there's blue, there's red,
Oh,
and
okay.
yellow.
The green one's the one that goes golfing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I knew that there were more than one, but I didn't know that they were in that game.
Yep, they're in that game.
But
So-
then for a second, I was like, each Yoshi you get is a different Yoshi, and you're actually killing all of them. And I was like, ah.
you can find the different Yoshis in Star Wars.
There's little babies. You
Oh,
gotta
right.
feed them.
I
and
forgot,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot about
Yep.
Star Wars. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh no.
Are there any Mario games we need to get through before we get to Super Mario World, or is it time for Super Mario World? That's what I'm thinking
Three's
right
in
now.
there.
Three's in there, yeah.
Yeah, so that 2D, I'm not no other 2D Mario games, I don't think.
Correct.
Because it's darn good.
I'm racking my brain. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
please,
like,
please.
what is there to say?
I mean,
I
anything.
it's my favorite Mario game.
Yeah.
Surely there's something you don't like about it, though.
Do you think it's unfair?
I don't like the. Go ahead, Damian.
Do you think it's unfair in at least one of the underground levels, where you have Yoshi present with you, is an auto scroller part where the yellow stuff goes up and down?
Uh-huh.
It's impossible to make it through with Yoshi.
Yeah.
Would you say that is a slight oversight on the game creators' part?
Mm,
Yoshi shouldn't be down there.
Changing
Sorry,
it up,
Don.
yeah.
It's not my turn.
I guess that would be a slight. Like,
Okay.
it's a tiny thing, I guess. It doesn't even matter though. He just gets hit and runs away, and you can get back on him though. It's fine. He's a tank. He can't die.
Even as a teenager who generally was not super good at games,
Super Mario World's never been that tough. There's definitely Mario games I've played that have had like, I mean, the first one actually is a really nice balanced, you know, difficulty. It's definitely something you can like train for. Whereas like you can get like even just in the gameplay, there are 1-ups flying. Like it's just not.
That was the beginning of the game. Jones, I just replayed this game in one sitting, and it definitely ramps up as you go. And there's a lot of harder levels that are optional if you want to get challenged, like the special world I brought up.
True, yeah.
Brad, so the new things that are in there, like the cape is great, Yoshi's great, but compared to other Mario games, even compared to Mario 3, there are fewer power-ups than there are, I think, in a lot of other Mario games. And I think part of the joy of Mario is like just seeing what crazy things there would be, like Karibo's shoe or like the frog suit or something like that. Do you think Mario World could have benefited from a few more options like that?
A few more options. I honestly think Yoshi's like a big power-up in that sense. Maybe not in the more traditional, like, you know, grabbing an item and Mario himself powering up.
Yeah.
But I think Yoshi, just the fact that there's 4 different Yoshis you could test around with, is a different type of power-up that I appreciate because it's just not another suit to Mario. And I think the cape power-up is just so powerful on its own. I think it makes a lot of room, just the way it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And like a lot of things from 3 are still in there and stuff.
Like apologizing. Look, I didn't mean to.
I'm trying my best. I love this game. I love this game.
So good.
Do you feel that item box palaces changed the dynamic of the levels that had the invisible blocks and then they were populated once you beat them?
Do you mean like the blocks you
Like the yellow, the green, the red. Do you think that was very meaningful?
I think it can help a lot actually in some, especially in the later levels. Like even like the castles especially. There's a lot of spots. I missed a lot of them when I was playing through it, and I was like, damn, I wish I had a block here.
Do you feel like this series deserves to have a 3rd game in the Hall of Greats before other series even get their first entry into the Hall of Greats?
That's a pretty good
I
point.
do.
That's a really good point.
That's
up to us.
Because
up to
I will not skip a game just because there's other entries in there. If I think it's one of the best games, regardless how many are in there, I will put it in there over other games. I'm not going to do a pity party of, oh, this game doesn't have entries, it doesn't belong here. Fuck that, I'm putting the best game I think in.
Right.
Brad,
We're thinking.
Every time I replay this game, or I revisit this game, I guess I should say, the one section that I really don't like is like the inflated Mario stuff.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
I just don't. There's something about it I don't enjoy it. It takes away. It's kind of like swimming levels in other Mario games for me, where I feel like it's fine, I get through it, but it doesn't give me the same joy.
I would say because it's like a very slow paced kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
like
that.
auto scroll.
I think it was a nice change because usually in that game you can move so fast, and a lot of times it's used in really cool ways, especially in the special world. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but I still think it's fun. I acknowledge that it's not for everybody.
Time.
Nice. Jolly all around. Thank you.
Who's next?
Good vibes tonight. Solid children entertainment.
G-rated.
We'll see. Maybe this is The Last of Us. We'll see what's next.
Isla!
Isla, known for being G-rated.
Yeah, definitely not G-rated. No, I have a video. So we'll need to be able to hear it pretty well in here, Damiani.
Boot it.
I think I know what you picked.
Really?
Yeah, I just have a guess. I'm gonna see if I'm right.
Ah.
Well, I hope you're.
Sound
I guess I don't know what I hope.
Yeah, either way. It would
Fun
be a
if you're
cool
right,
pick.
fun
Yeah,
if you're wrong.
it would be a cool pick.
Set up to go.
Okay.
Isla,
I
just
rolled my
let-
pants
just
before I
let
left, and
play.
it didn't matter.
Okay, will we have video and audio during it?
You will.
Just
Okay.
covered in
I
cat
have
hair.
it set up so that we see us on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay.
That sounds great.
Cool, and you will hear us. Is that okay, or do you want us muted?
Sounds
We'll
fun.
be
All
respectful.
right.
Yeah,
Just let me know when to begin.
Whenever you're ready.
Here we go.
I want to talk to you about vibes. I want to talk to you about emotional resonance. I want to talk to you about investment. I want to talk to you about romance, personalization, devastation, space travel, favorite stores, improved combat, excellent writing, best waifus and husbandos, sex, tight outfits, choices. I wrote all of those in all caps. I want to talk to you about Mass Effect 2. Now, I know that not everyone has played Mass Effect 2, so I won't spoil anything. Also, it feels like a betrayal to my Shep to show footage that doesn't include her, so I don't even know what you're looking at right now. But that's the first point about Mass Effect 2 I want to discuss. I feel so attached to this game and to my personalized player character from this game that it actually doesn't feel right to see footage that isn't my version of Shepard and my crew and my story. That's not true of most games. Like, sure, it's a little weird to see someone else's character. You're like, hey, what gives? But with Mass Effect 2, it feels personal. That's emotional resonance, baby. That's investment. Let's talk improvements. My god, there are almost too many to list. This game improves so many things over Mass Effect 1, combat being maybe the biggest. This game is the best feeling of the OG Trill, if you ask me. Let's talk about sex, baby. Not often in an RPG have I felt so invested about my waifu. Shit was like a multi-game odyssey with ups and downs. It felt almost like a real relationship. I don't want to get into too many details about this stuff because I don't want to spoil anything, but man, it's good stuff. Good waifus, husbandos, romance, sexy times, and they let you be gay, which is really nice. I always appreciate that. Also, everyone looks real good in these tight-ass outfits. This is a thirsty-ass game. The way this game culminates is best in class. The investment you've made in all the characters, the devastation you feel if you fail one of them, it's all a testament to excellent design and writing. This cast of spacefaring misfits is so well balanced and interesting, it's hard to pick a favorite crew member. And you want to make damn sure that you make good choices and don't let any of them down. And on top of everything, on top of the sexy outfits, the great role-playing, they pour dank vibes onto everything. It just feels so cool and good. You want to live in this world. Traveling through space in this feels the way I used to pretend it would feel to live on a spaceship, something I did a lot of as a teen because I was super depressed and I couldn't sleep. This game feels like you get to live in space, and that's awesome. I love just chatting with the crew. I love humorous moments like endorsing a store in the Citadel. I love collecting things for my bedroom. I realized that this was gonna be under 5 minutes, so I'm gonna make up a new paragraph right now without writing it. This game, it just feels super good. And it looks really good, and all the characters are really good, and it's really fun to play, and it feels really good to play. I know I'm just repeating myself, but this is a really good space game. And it's probably my favorite story-based space game. Like, you know, Elite Dangerous is really cool, and it has, like, really good, like, more accurate space flight, but this has the vibes. It feels like all the good parts of Star Trek and Star Wars put together. And I just love living in this world, and I remember it so fondly to this day, and I think that that speaks to a great. In conclusion, to sum up, thus, what it all comes down to is, this is one of the best damn space RPGs of all time. Thanks for listening.
A lot of trailers for that Mass Effect 2.
There might have been some Mass Effect 1 and 3 stuff
I saw 3 in there.
snuck in there too, because I used the Legendary Edition trailer one for
All right.
It's been a long time since I've played this,
Me too.
but the combat, I don't remember being that great. Can you sell me on it a little more?
It was way better than 1. So at the time, it felt amazing. And it had the multiplayer, which I remember.
It did not.
No,
It was
that's
3.
That was 3. Shit. Well, the combat was better than 1, but definitely, not like, it's not a first-person shooter. You know, it's.
Right.
I played as the sniper with magic powers, and so like, you know, I would just snipe a guy and then magic powers them, and that was it. But I just think that the combat was vastly improved from 1. And it didn't get in the way of anything for 2. I thought it did in 1. but for a long story-heavy RPG, it was not a detriment in 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I love this game. It's easily my favorite of the 3 Mass Effect games. And I really think this is a game that solidifies the saying, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I think of things I don't like in this game, what immediately comes to mind is the last boss and how anticlimactic it is. And in a game that I think where the characters feel so unique and so special, it kind of suffers the Bioshock syndrome of having just like a very formulaic final boss. Do you think that hurts the overall experience at all?
For me, and to try to not spoil Jones too much, but I think
I'll forget it by the time I get there.
All right, well,
We're talking like 6 months from now.
all right. Well, the whole
It was valid, damn it.
no, I know the whole suicide mission to me is kind of the final boss, and to me that's so monumental and felt so intense, and like everything felt like it led up to that. Like, I know we bandy the word culmination around a lot, but it really felt like that. So yeah, honestly, I don't remember the final boss, like literal final boss, but I remember that whole last experience.
The literal final boss is very forgettable.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, like, the whole suicide mission is so awesome that that's what I think of when I think of the end of that game. And, like, my first playthrough, I lost one person, and I was, like, devastated, so I did it over again to, like, save everybody, you know? And that just was super memorable to me. So for me, that's the final boss, that whole chunk.
Do you think the Paragon Renegade system holds up to date, or do you think,
I think,
like, is it a problem that you're kind of pigeonholed into just being like blue or red, good or bad?
I mean, you can kind of sort of skirt the middle, but it doesn't really do anything, right? But, like, I think that that's definitely maybe one of the things that was the most of its time. Because, like, when I was looking and getting the trailers and stuff, I forgot this was 11 years ago, this game, because I played it maybe 6 or 7 years ago for the first time. And, like, it was definitely something of that time to have a good, bad, like, Fable-esque, you know, like, system like that where it's pretty much cut and dried. I don't think it holds it back in a modern playthrough, but it's definitely like now things would be more nuanced, you know. Since Witcher 3, probably everyone's like, hey, gray areas are fun. But I don't know, it's part of what makes this game like quaint and like not in a shitty way, but quaint in like a cool vibes, nice living way. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You talked about Mass Effect 2 being a thirsty game, and really thinking about it, that's so true. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, or sex being in games is a bad thing, but it's interesting comparing it to the first game, because I think the first game is a thirsty game as well, in its own way. Like, it was definitely designed with relationships in mind, but I feel like 2, and you definitely see this, I think, in the new characters, just goes way harder. They're like,
God.
oh, we know
Miranda
people are playing. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I think there's something now in a modern context that's kind of weird, thinking back on like the designers being so aware of it in a way that like it's almost, the thirstiness is almost too self-conscious for its own good, you know what I mean?
I mean, there are definitely some like artistic camera angles.
Didn't they clear up a lot of that up? Like,
I don't know if they've addressed that. They changed it.
I
for
read
the
some
legendary?
article about
that's probably
about
for the best.
butts.
There was definitely an asterisk. Miranda's her name, right? The one in the like skin tight one.
Yeah.
She's
great.
She's a cutie. But there was definitely a shot that felt pretty egregious. But if they changed it, then hey,
That's it.
Well, now I want to play Mass Effect 2 even more.
Man,
It's
these
so
are
good.
already. This is already stacked, dude.
I know.
So bitter.
Huber posted in.
I'm so bitter.
Too slow.
You had so much time. I
Too
told him
slow,
about
yeah.
it yesterday.
Huber's under the impression someone else stole it the whole time too.
Yeah.
Really? Huber posted in Slack. I saw him. He's like, "Who stole?
Will he have a
fucked me on
spite vote
Hawk?"
where he doesn't vote for it? No,
Dude,
I
vote
want to
for
put
me,
it in.
Huber.
Despite all his rage, he's still just a rat.
Yeah. A slow rat.
You like the game I like?
But yeah,
fills me
no
with
one had
fury.
submitted,
You had
no one
plenty
had
of time.
submitted games to
Yeah.
Damiani until fucking like literally yesterday.
Because No, when I submitted my game to
didn't.
Damiani, he was like, somebody already took it, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't like.
Was it Mass Effect 2?
No.
Nice.
Someone picked a game
I wanna know
immediately
the other
after
one.
Blood reminded everyone Hall of Greats is coming up like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a pick immediately, right then and there. I was actually shocked. I was like, crap, I have to like remember this.
Yeah.
And then, like 2 weeks later, like in advance of this, people start sending me pics, and I'm like, Ben sends me his. I'm like, oh wait,
Somebody already picked
this
that.
like 2 weeks ago.
But then this plot thickens.
And then things happened, and things got rearranged, and then I was like, wait a second, no one has picked this. So I was like, Ben, it's still open right now.
Well, and it was too late at
But
that point.
I was like, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's too late.
What
Yeah.
game is it?
Why did they?
We'll find out
withdraw?
after.
Yeah, we'll find out
tell us
after.
after.
Why
did
Tell
they
us
originally-
after.
Chad is gonna be
Withdraw,
Chad is
that's
gonna be
what
crushed because multiple people picked this. Everybody wants it in.
That's so
And then now no one's bringing it.
But whenever people do bring it, I'm gonna mention it and be like, hey, remember that time?
No,
Everybody just bailed on
The
this
problem
game.
with telling us what it is whoever locks it in knows they have like 4 built-in.
Right.
it was pretty much a lock anyway. Yeah.
Can we?
Oh,
Can we leave things for the next Hall of Greats immediately following this stream? Like the moment we go
I've
offline,
done that
can I
before.
like pull you aside? Really?
yeah.
That was my fault. I got cold feet.
You backed
You have
out?
cold
Yeah.
feet?
I got
Alright.
cold feet on that one.
Why?
Yeah.
It's a lock.
Which one?
Coming up
It
next.
is a lock. It is
Don't
a
say
lock.
what it is. We're gonna
Yeah, it's
tell
a
us
lock.
what it is at the end.
It's a lock.
But I
Coming up next.
it was a lock, but I wanted to do it right, so I got cold feet.
Michael Damiani.
Michael Damiani, come on down.
Come on down.
The next presenter.
On the Hall of Greats.
There's actually a game that oh man, I really want Damiani to bring this. We'll see. We'll see.
See that documentary about that Price is Right savant?
I hope you have
That, like kept going back
like props.
to like
No.
to break down the science. He like memorized all the
colored water was my
he
favorite.
like memorized all the prices and
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I have an extra minute or two as
Yeah,
well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You'll use
I
it.
watched a documentary, or I was watching a
I'm not
documentary
long-winded.
about a Satanist who just like killed a
Do you
guy
need
in his
me to
basement.
go
Cool.
over and start
And you
something?
like you go into it.
kill the
you're
guy in
like-
his own basement or in the
No, in
guy's
his own
basement?
basement.
Okay.
And you watch it and you're like, oh, this will be interesting. And then like I got to like 15 minutes left of it and I was like, no, this is just sad. Like this is just a really sad story. This isn't interesting at all.
Yeah.
This is just a fucked up guy.
All right, the Damiani pick. I never know what this guy's bringing.
So, Damian, do you want me to hit live right when you start, or when you tell me?
I'll just say push
Okay.
live.
I just told people to play Doom.
All right,
You know?
Yeah.
Satanic
Push
vibes.
live, Isla.
Peggy.
So the game I brought, which I accidentally leaked a little bit earlier,
Oh,
because
shit.
I played a little bit of the music. Yes, is Final Fantasy X. I don't only think this is a great game, but this is personally a very important game to me because I played this game before Final Fantasy VII. I played this. This was like this was my first 3D Final Fantasy and one of my like actual first Final Fantasies I played through to completion. And before Final Fantasy X, I didn't really believe games could have. It was basically this. I played this and Metal Gear Solid kind of back to back, and it convinced me how compelling stories could be in a video game and attachment to characters. This is a game that is about a journey, a pilgrimage of these heroes who are trying to save a world that's been like in endless suffering for basically 1,000 years. And this whole game seems hopeless. Every step you make, you find out more about this world and how it's in this endless death spiral. And when you're hit with the truth, it's just like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna stop this? And I actually think because of the tie between the main character and ultimately revealed their father to be tied to the main villain of the game, it's very ancient Greek mythology and how they resolve it. So I actually liked a lot how they built towards this ending that seemed believable to conquer this insurmountable, basically evil in this game. So from a story perspective, it was wonderful. I love this cast of characters. I understand 20 years later that some of these characters have some issues. You know, they could obviously benefit from some updates. But the world, the setting is so important. The world of Spira, it's just so vibrant and different from the medieval setting, from like the kind of like industrial dystopian setting that all the past Final Fantasy games had done, going for this kind of like South Pacific, Southeast Asian like influence. It was just a nice change of pace. And as you're hearing right now, it had a wonderful soundtrack. The first Final Fantasy soundtrack that Uematsu brought in some collaborators, some other Square Enix, or at the time Square staff, to bring in to create this wonderful soundtrack. And the game itself, it is an shining example of turn-based gameplay and linear design being done well. And in the years since, where linear kind of became a dirty word, thanks to Final Fantasy 13, going back and replaying this game even now shows that if you have compelling story, compelling characters, you have meaningful objectives, and a wonderfully crafted world that kind of disguises that it doesn't feel like you're just running down a corridor all the time, it works. It feels good. And just having the sphere grid system, I understand there's been complaints about it, but the internet, this is all versions of Final Fantasy, so the international version allows you to have the expert sphere grid where you can change from the very beginning which direction your characters go. So maybe Summoner Yuna isn't going to be a summoner and your healer. Maybe she goes in a different direction, or maybe Tidus goes in a different direction. But the balance of the default sphere grid itself is really good, because I feel the ability to, if not the first Final Fantasy game, one of the first to allow you to use all of your party members in battle. So that people aren't on the sideline the whole time. Being able to switch them in and changing that dynamic to add to that layer of strategy, I felt was like one of the key ingredients for turn-based strategy in the Final Fantasy series that was missing. And side quests, this game has I think this has the most side quests of any Final Fantasy game. Trying to get those celestial weapons at the end, insanity. Man. The going after the Dark Aeons, trying to go after Penance, Nemesis and Penance. There was just so much more to this game. Completely optional areas. Was it the Stolen Faith area? Right after the Calm Lands, like you completely could miss that, and you could go there, or to the other temple where you fight the different Aeons and stuff, and then like the summons in this game. This is like, for people who want like a summoner and summons, it's like these summons and their animations like lived up to the hype back in the day, because this game is visually for its time was amazing. With the HD graphics, it holds up very well, and it has a beautiful aesthetic, and it's just a journey that feels so good from start to finish. And it just speaks to me so much, because every few years, almost maybe every year, I feel like I gotta go back and go on this journey again. It's just so much fun.
Dude, I gotta go.
And
back.
it's endearing to me.
Time.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot how gay for this game I
Yeah.
am. What the hell kind of a name for a team is Goers?
Look at Goers!
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it Tidus or Titus?
It's
Tidus, damn it.
So it would make
That's
no sense.
dumb.
It's only because of when this game came out, but this game will always to me be synonymous, just like the original Resident Evil and everything, for like we're just starting to put VO into games, and we'll get good at it at some point. But there were some really good performances. There were other performances that like even past some of the comedic moments, it was just kind of discombobulated. It just like there were, lots of individual personalities and voice levels, and it was all kind of a mishmash.
Yeah, the VO, even with the touch-ups and HD remaster, I mean, it is a product of its time. Some of the lines aren't delivered as well as they could be, but it's also speaking from the point when it came out, very few games had been trying to do this on this level. And you gotta start somewhere, and I think it was much better than a lot of offerings. The thing I think that matters most is, while there are some low points with some of the characters, some of the more emotional moments, I feel they get it right. Especially with like Tidus, a lot of people like the harp on some of the moments with there,
Right.
but I think as you genuinely see this character progress from being kind of like, I'm kind of like not say spoiled, but just like not accepting of his fate till he becomes accepting of it, to he starts to learn to care for other people besides himself, and you know he genuinely cares about this world he's been in, and he cares about the characters, and like kind of like the romance angle of it's kind of like at a distance at first, and then you know it's one of the few Final Fantasy games where a Final Fantasy character actually straight up tells the character "I love you." It's like this was like weird taboo where your Final Fantasy characters can't kiss, can't say "I love you." The only other one was Final Fantasy IV with Rosa and Cecil. It's like, what is their problem with this? It's like allow the characters to express themselves. Yeah, it's like I was like, yeah, this
Let
is
them
like
love
good.
each other.
Yeah, like there's like a bond here, and it was nice to see even like Waka, who's supposed to be like the racist, like having Albed join them and like their performance between Riku and Waka, and seeing him come to be a little bit more accepting. Like everything, he's like a conservative, he's a religious, he's challenged, and he changes though in the face of actual facts, which is kind of like nice. It's like, hey, look, you know, nice.
You talked about the quality of the linear design, and I think like every time you went to a new place, it was really fun. It was really exciting. But thinking back on like the summer trials and like the puzzles that you would have to do, those were not really like they weren't that interesting. It kind of just felt like something you kind of had to get through to get to the good story bits.
It definitely comes off as something that they were trying to do, like they thought it might be a thing. It definitely reeked of, hey, the Zelda series has been very popular, and the 3D games have been doing these great puzzles. We don't want to be that, but maybe there's something there where we can have these dungeon-like trials. And like the Bevel one at the end is like terrible with the moving platforms, like to the day that like that does not hold up. I'll give you that. That's terrible. But I think the thing about them is some of them are kind of short. Some of them have some like neat things where there is an optional destruction sphere. It's like it's a little bit more cerebral. It's like, okay, how do I move this to here? And like it's moving those parts. But I will give you that like once or twice I was like, man, I just want to get to the next part. This doesn't seem like the best time to have a trial here. And it's something they did like move away from the series. You know, they really didn't go to those types of puzzle-based dungeons anymore. This went back to like, here's dungeons with the enemies in them. That might have sufficed a little bit better. But I do like some of them. I think it was worth the try. And I think while it wasn't like excellent, it was done decently well. But it is one of the parts that doesn't hold up as well as the rest of the game.
1 minute left. What's the woman with the belts? Lulu?
Lulu.
Great outfit.
Oh.
I mean, Lulu is just hot.
Yeah, the outfits and all the outfits are really...
How's Blitzball hold up?
Don't get me started on Blitzball.
Oh yeah, what the fuck's Blitzball?
Okay, Blitzball is
It's
misunderstood,
weird.
but there's something about they even accounted for it in the beginning. The first match, you feel like you're supposed to lose. And I think most people lost the first match. If you retry or you learn the game and you go back on a second playthrough and you win that first match, you have the chant Waka's holding the trophy and stuff, and you get like a little bit
that's cool.
And like the recruitment stuff in Blitzball, okay. If you set the controls correctly, the manual, and you do everything correctly, and you start like scouting for the season, you recruit the right players, you unlock their special shots, you get the rules, you get the fit for yourself.
Not like this. Not like this.
But Blitzball is sick. You just ate 30 seconds out of Dawn minutes.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Don, we do have to take a second. Unfortunately. Coming up next,
Fucking Blitzball.
Michael Huber.
Whoa!
Nice.
Here he is.
I was gonna bring Mass Effect 2, but
Still upset
Well,
about
what's
it.
the other game?
I look forward to your votes.
So you want Mass Effect 2 to get in the Hall of Greats more than the game that you're about to talk about, right? Kind of just by
No, actually, it was a happy accident that Mass Effect 2 was taken because I'm way more passionate about this one, actually.
prove it.
Let's go.
Should we wait for Ben?
Yeah.
I am ready to believe you.
We're ready to believe you.
Okay.
Ready?
All your images ready to go, Huber. So I'm actually going to go to your
Images.
scene, Huber.
Images.
Wait for the first one. Wait for it.
No, there's no images on it.
Cool,
I'm going to
cool,
go to the blank screen.
Chill.
Are they labeled?
They are all labeled. I have them in a certain order.
Labeled as not spoilery things, I mean?
Yeah, it's
They
like
just
Huber
say-
1, 2,
they say
3.
Huber
Yo,
1,
my
2,
hands
3,
are
3.
sweating. We're waiting on Ben. Just give me a sec.
Okay.
Sure.
Give him a sec.
Hi everybody, we're ECL. Welcome to Tuesday Night Group Stream. We're doing Hall of Greats. The 4 games you see over there next to Isla, those are our other side. those are the 4 games we've talked about. We got
Current nominations.
3 more games to go, and then when we are done,
Ubers.
we will individually come in here and talk about what we want to vote for.
Yeah.
Mom,
And then why?
bro.
What's voting for what? What 3 we're voting for, not what 3 we're giving first, second, or third place. First will get third, second will get 2, or 3 points, second will get 2 points, and third will get 1 point.
From each of us, and then the
Right.
one that gets the most points, the 2 that get the most points get in to all the breaks.
And if a game gets no votes, it is banned for a year.
Yeah. This
You-
is a stacked lineup so far.
Yeah,
I mean, and it always
pretty
is.
good. If you're bringing a Final Fantasy, you got to play some of that music.
Yeah.
I was thinking about having some
Yeah, he
Minecraft.
did.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was
Oh.
thinking about having some Minecraft tune in the background, and I was like, yeah, that's
What
fine.
is
The
Minecraft music?
The
Like,
Minecraft
look
music is
for it, I get something
depressing.
different.
It's always been really.
Yeah, it's depressing to me.
Oh.
I don't like it. Sorry, Danny, or whatever.
I mean, I haven't listened to it in a while.
That might have been a yellow card.
So
I like
What?
Valheim's music.
We're talking about Minecraft.
Oh yeah, yellow. We all get a yellow card.
Don, more seconds. We're gonna have to take away from your time. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry,
Don.
I didn't
Sorry,
say
Don.
peep.
Don, you're down to 3 minutes, bud. Sorry.
Yeah.
I should be able to.
One more coming at you. I'm gonna hold you in contempt of Hall of Greats.
From each of you, actually.
One more of these outbursts, Don.
Put you back in the cell with Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
I had a
Pesci.
question about Mass Effect 2, but we ran out of time in the counter.
Well, if you want to eat one of your Don minutes, you can ask it.
Nah,
not
you
at
gotta
all.
keep
I'll
it.
wait till after my presentation.
Those rules, yeah.
Okay. We'll
You're
see how
gonna use all
many you
those
need.
minutes. What are you talking about? You always do.
I may not use them all. Who knows? I have
Okay.
7 so far. Who else?
That's it so far.
7 minutes.
That's all.
Before
That's it.
before we went live, Huber called the update to PlayStation 5 for Grand Theft Auto 5 a GTA 5 remaster, and I almost spit out my water. Like, a what? He's like, GTA 5 remaster. I'm like, you just mean that it's coming out on a new generation of consoles? Like, remaster?
Well, they might remaster it. Not just fine.
I mean, it looks better, but it's not what it's not.
It might.
Remasters kind of. I don't know.
Sometimes Sophia and I will drive around and she'll put on like the talk radio from GTA 5
It's fun.
and we'll just like sit there and listen to it.
Well, I remember when I had that
Totally.
moment as a GTA fan where I was like, wait a minute, none of this music should be in this game. This doesn't make sense. He's talking about Compton. What's Compton? You know, it's like, that doesn't make sense.
The talk radio in GTA 3 even still holds up and is
Dude.
pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
She was playing one for me that is a continuation of that character from like Vice City or one of the earlier ones, and he's like trying to not be a womanizer anymore, and it's so funny.
Yo, if I went through the Mass Effect trilogy without romancing one person, did I play it wrong?
No, man.
You did your job.
Ace is valid, dude.
Yeah.
Aromantic
You
is
fell in love with your
valid.
job.
Yeah,
All right.
you
You fell in love with
Yeah,
Normandy.
yeah.
Normandy
You
was
stay
your...
true to your fucking
married
to the job.
I was
Oh
all in
my
on
God.
the mission.
In 2,
Oh
I
my
tried to abandon the universe and just get married and run away.
Just know that-
she wouldn't do it.
Just know that everyone was fucking around you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I started a relationship with one of my crew members who didn't even know it.
Yeah, you could hear it through the walls.
Yeah, I
You're
was
just
like, you were flirting with him. Like, I was
you
not.
hear him bang, and you're like,
Two
this is
things,
off
Hubert.
mission.
The very first image, you're gonna say a word again.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
first one, and then for the video, can you actually prompt me for the video again?
That's
Yeah.
the most Huber instruction.
Yeah.
What
nice.
the hell?
Cool.
Say a word.
It's
Okay.
the word.
And emphasize the words because I have to do a fade transition.
I
so
got
we
you.
have the-
Say
Wow.
Oh
Say the
my
word and then
gosh,
go,
that was
Damiani.
I got you.
After each one.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
No, not
I'll
at
start
all.
when you start.
Hello, and a very pleasant evening to you wherever you may be. Thank you for joining the Hall of Greats ceremony tonight. We're here to celebrate the greats past and present. And when I think
Okay.
of how far we've come in this industry, I can't help but look back at the golden age of arcades.
Here we go.
Before patches, before Ethernet, trophies, teraflops, arcades were the place for community and innovation. Before we could put powerful machines in our living room, we had to gather at places like this to play these arcade games. Games like X-Men, 6-Player Cabinet, The Simpsons, arcade game, bustin' heads as Homer, and of course not one, but 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. The arcade game and Turtles in Time. Now, when I look at our current Hall of Greats list, You know, when I look at the current games, Damiani, no worries. When I look at this list, something is absent. Distressingly so. I see a lot of love for RPGs and platformers. I see multiple Final Fantasy and Mario games. But what I don't see are beat-em-ups. And that is why today I bring what I feel in my heart and my bones and my soul to be the new gold standard, the current culmination of decades worth of the genre. Streets of Rage 4 is the new highlight, the pinnacle of this genre. Now, gotta start at the music, of course, because Streets of Rage is known for this music, and 4 is on par with the sky-high expectations that we had going into it. It hits those highs with this soundtrack. Legendary soundtrack, and not only is it a great soundtrack, but it is heavily implemented into the fabric of the game. There is an entire plot about how they're using music to hypnotize people. You're fighting the DJ as a boss. So music is integrated. The legacy of this franchise is celebrated in the actual plot of Streets of Rage as a callback to its legacy. The roster is flawlessly integrated into this kick-ass campaign that has just really great environments, like the Wood Oak City and the Chinatown mission, where you're going to reunite with an old friend. You've got the police headquarters, the art exhibition, and of course at the end, Mr. X's castle, all with a beautiful, timeless art style. I think this art style is just gonna hold up for a long time. It is just gorgeous, especially when it's in motion. The combat, the thing about those old school games that I mentioned at the top, what are widely considered the best beat-em-ups of all time, X-Men, The Simpsons, and Turtles in Time, they are, for better or worse, simple. They lack depth, for better and or worse. They're 2 or 3 buttons. You jump, you attack, you special, that's it. Streets of Rage has modern depth without the expense of accessibility. You can hop in and button mash like those classics, or you can take it to the lab and pull off combos that you don't even know are possible. I implore you to watch a couple YouTube videos of how to play these characters properly to see just how deep you can get. And I brought this game before, but what I want to hone in is now with this new mode, Mr. X's Nightmare, I used to think this was the best beat 'em up, and now it is cemented. This is easily the best of the genre of all time. We are now combining modern 2021 current gaming trends, roguelites, with the past, with our history and beat 'em ups. So we're fusing old and new to legendary effect. It is a match made in bliss. And in closing, I implore you, allies, to show this genre the respect it deserves and vote for Streets of Rage 4 to represent one of the greats.
Wrapping up. Almost right on time. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Good job.
Huber, when this game originally came out, I believe you gave it an 8.5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's been a few changes now. So what do you think has made it the best beat 'em up of all time now?
Yeah, at the time, the 8.5 was just below a 9 because of the network issues. It came out right around COVID times. Reviews do exist in the time you review them. To have online issues during lockdown was definitely a factor. If I were to review this game now, and especially with Mr. X's Nightmare, it would easily be above the 9 range, no question. They've patched that up, they fixed it. Since then, they've actually balanced characters. Over the year that this game has been out, they've balanced considerably Axel and Cherry. They've added characters and just overall made it a complete and better package.
One of the fascinating things about Streets of Rage 4 is it's a sequel after eons, between games. And it really does I think a great job of like balancing old and new. But there is a lot of references to the classic games, which I super appreciate. But I feel like because they successfully pull so much from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, I feel like maybe the new characters get overshadowed just a little bit. Not that they aren't great, but I feel like just because, like, if you're coming into this with a love of Streets of Rage, maybe those new characters don't get to shine quite as bright as they could.
I'm super high, though, on Cherry and Estelle. Two of the newest characters in this. I mean, Floyd didn't get enough backstory. Like, they could have gone further with his connection to Dr. Zan. But I think the new additions are great, Ben. I really do. I think Cherry is so fun to use. She's one of the only characters that can run. She has her guitar, again, getting that vibe of the love for music. And just now, a couple weeks ago, adding Estelle, Streets of Rage 4 version of Max, and Shiva. I think the new roster is cool. And Estelle. I think Estelle is just like an instant classic icon in this series.
It's tough because I didn't finish Final Fantasy X. I haven't played Mass Effect 2 yet. I have played a ton of Super Mario World, but I did play Streets of Rage 4, and it didn't really grab me enough to like necessarily want to play it more now. Do you think this is something really built for people who are fans of the franchise, or do you think,
No, Jones, I think
like I don't know, length, or maybe like you were explaining some of the progression system that wasn't really aware. I was aware of at the time. I don't know.
Jones, I think if we sat down like me and you from the beginning, I think I would get you invested immediately. I think in a group stream it's a little different. We're playing 4 players,
Right.
we're passing it off. I think if me and you sat down and you wanted to get invested in Streets of Rage rather than just like, oh, it's the group stream night, I think you could easily get invested, especially in the new survival mode, which is not only pick up and play, but like settle in and master. It balances both brilliantly.
I do think the music is very, very good in Streets of Rage 4. I remember enjoying it quite a bit, but I think it's just like it's being compared. It's like the toughest comparison. It's like being compared to like classic Final Fantasy music, because I think like the Streets of Rage 1 and 2 soundtracks are like best best in generation level of good.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like quite that level. Like it definitely I think is good enough and is super enjoyable, but I don't know that the music is quite on par with the classics.
I think the highs, though, are so high. I think of an exhibition. I think of Chill or Don't. I think of the new one, Somersault, something or other they added in Mr. X. I think the highs are there, Ben, and they hit as hard as the originals. Maybe, of course, the originals have overall consistency from top to bottom, but I think some of the highest highs are in Streets of Rage 4. And especially, I think Yuzo Koshiro, his throwback, they're back playing off Go Straight. That remix redo is my number one of all time in the whole franchise. So yeah, I think volume may be the originals, but I think the highs are now in 4.
Was this kickstarted? Or was it?
No.
Oh.
Dude, it's Kickstarter with Huber's Dreams.
Yeah.
Huber, I don't remember this, so you gotta enlighten me. For this game, you're fighting a lot of enemies, beating up a lot of dudes. Do you feel this game has enough variety that it introduces on its own, or does it lean in too much on past enemies?
There's a lot of past enemies, Brad, but some of the new enemies are so good, especially the Taekwondo enemies.
Time.
Oh,
I remember them.
the Taekwondo.
I remember the Taekwondo guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Nice.
Will it be done? Will it be Ben? Who is it? It's Ben!
Yes, Ben. Do you want to sit here, Ben, or are you good right there?
I'm good.
Cool.
I'm good.
This is the hot seat at Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can sit in the hot seat too. That's fine, either way. Damiani, I will signal you and whenever.
Throw up the smoke flare. We should just have a flare gun.
Yeah.
Gosh!
We would burn down the city with a flare
We
gun.
should not have that.
It is rare that I think somebody can become truly a master or synonymous with just like precious memories in one field of work. But this man, when you see his face, I think for many of us, brings us joy because of what he's accomplished in video games as well as the real world. Damiani. And that man, is Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
And Tony Hawk last year they revitalized it by remaking Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, but that's actually not the game that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what I think is the absolute central game, the thing that really nailed down, screwed in, perfected the nuts and bolts of the Tony Hawk franchise. And that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And I think it really brings a lot of ammunition to any game in the Hall of Greats when I can say you can play this game and have just as good of a time as you could when it originally came out. This game is endlessly fun. It's the kind of game where when you play it, your hand will be hurting from using the D-pad to do all of the tricks to try to get the 6 scores, and you'll just keep going anyway. And I think what's great and what's so magical about Tony Hawk fundamentally is that it's a game that you can enjoy without being a skateboarder, without knowing what the tricks are. It's a game that kind of works on a fundamental level where it's just so satisfying comboing things together, exploring levels, learning secrets. It's just fun on a basic level, but if you do have an appreciation for skateboarding, there's clearly so much love put into that culture, that scene, that attitude, that vibe. It's, I think, like a quintessential video game where you can turn it on and it's telling you, it's screaming in your face, we just want you to have a good time. And you do, immediately. It's irreverent, it's quirky, it's funny, it's immature. It's like truly a game that I think you can appreciate at the youngest and oldest age, much like Tony Hawk himself. But going into Tony Hawk 3, the reason why I chose this game, and I kind of want to build up to things of importance. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this is the first game that had online play, which would obviously become not only a huge focus for Tony Hawk, but this was at a time when I think online play for consoles wasn't even really figured out yet. On PlayStation 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 had online support before the official PlayStation Ethernet broadband thing was out yet. And I think that that's pretty incredible. And not only was it incredible for the time, but there are still people that have figured out a way to keep Tony Hawk 3 online and going. That's how much fun it is. That's how significant it is that they're still playing it. The second thing I want to talk about is the levels. And so, Tony Hawk 1 is a game that I played it as probably the Tony Hawk game I've played the most. But its levels are inconsistent. I think the downhill levels is not great. Every fucking level, even the competition levels in Tony Hawk 3 are stellar. There's not a bad one in the bunch. They're almost like their own adventure games, and they just kind of inch up in complexity. Like in Suburbia, for example, there's this guy known as the Thin Man by this creepy house, and you have to go and you have to find an axe for him, and then you bring it to him, and he chops down a path in the house, and it's a new place where you can skate, and then he just disappears. That's just one small example. Another one is Airport, maybe one of the greatest Tony Hawk levels of all time, where you have to grab tickets for somebody and deliver it to them while avoiding security, otherwise your ticket gets voided. And so there's just so many things that you just kind of naturally piece together in a really intuitive and fun way. But the last thing I want to talk about, and really cannot be overstated, is the addition of reverts. These are brand new to Tony Hawk 3, and what they allow you to do is when you're doing vert tricks, you can revert into a manual and you can keep your trick going from a quarter pipe or a half pipe or something. This makes it so in comparison to the other Tony Hawk games, you can have combos that are way bigger, way longer, and it completely transforms the stage. So really you're not just skating a single object, but with the revert you can transition from vert to lips to rails to anything so much easier, and really it's not just individual sections of a level, but the entire level itself feels so much more.
Time.
It's great.
Dude, 5 minutes flew by.
Yeah,
Did Isla give us less time here?
I know. I know.
That one went
gives?
bad faster because Tony Hawk was like staring straight into our souls.
Yeah.
I spent not an insignificant amount of time finding the perfect Tony Hawk video.
Huh?
I'm watching you.
Dude, watch it.
I'm watching you.
It's 5 minutes.
All
every
right, I'm
time.
ready.
All right, go.
Ben, so I have not played this game since the PS2,
Yeah.
so forgive me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
I remember the multiplayer being dumb when I played it, and it was just a bunch of people skating around a thing and just them bumping each other and didn't really bring anything new or make it any more enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I guess it depends on what you mean by dumb, and I guess it depends on who you play with, because like I think back in the day where like online games were truly like in their infancy, it would be a little bit more haphazard, but I imagine that if you play Tony Hawk 3 today, it's all killers, right? And so it'll be a completely different experience. And so I think that online experience is so variable, and now, you know, through emulation and that sort of things has changed so much that I would venture a guess that it's a very different experience.
So I agree with you mechanically. I think this was the best Tony Hawk at the time. But now that the remakes of 1 and 2 came out, I feel like that is just a strong package. It's Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Especially with like the frame rate and everything like that, and how easy it is to get. Tony Hawk 3 as far as I'm aware is not a super easy game to play unless you want to do like the old hardware or emulation. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's emulation. I mean, there's so many copies of Tony Hawk out there that if you have a GameCube, you have an Xbox, you have a PS2, getting a used copy, you know, is probably like $15 or less. But yeah, I agree. I think it does need to be remade. And so talking about Tony Hawk 1 and 2, obviously the remake is incredible, right? I gave it a 9. I have a ton of great things to say about it. It smartly included things from later Tony Hawk games in Tony Hawk 1 and 2. But the thing that I would still come back to is kind of that all killer, no filler approach, where like there are incredible levels in Tony Hawk 1 and 2, but even in the remake, I wouldn't say like all the levels hit the same level of quality as Tony Hawk 3. In terms of just flow of the level and the tricks that you're doing, secrets to find, objectives that you're tackling, I think Tony Hawk 3 is really a high point in that regard.
Ben, I just want to thank you because I grew up playing this with my brother, man. So it's just good vibes all around. I got nothing
Dude,
bad
they're
to say
great.
about Tony Hawk 3. I got nothing bad to say.
Before I came to the Hall of Greats, I spent all day playing Tony Hawk 3, and I would not change it for the world.
Big aspect of Tony Hawk's soundtrack, man. How's the soundtrack
I was
hold
just
up?
gonna ask about that. Yeah.
I actually had a section for that in my speech. It was cut because I forgot and probably time. But the soundtrack, is incredible. It's not quite as synonymous as like Goldfinger Superman and Tony Hawk 1, but I had forgotten what songs were in Tony Hawk 3, but it, again, I don't know that there's a bad song in the bunch. I'd have to like go back and like really sit down and listen to everything. But as I was going through, you know, I was constantly retrying stages. A new song would play. Everything was great. What's nice is you've got a great mixture, like more of a mixture than I think you have in like Tony Hawk 1. You've got metal, you've got punk, you've got rap, and all of it kind of blends together that it's not really fighting with each other, that like it all kind of contributes to the same vibe in its own way. Like, and man, there's nothing better than just playing Tony Hawk 3 and Motorhead is playing. Like, it's great.
Ben, what do you got to say to all of the Underground enthusiasts out there that are distressed that you brought 3 instead of Underground?
Underground is great. I have actually been playing Underground very, very recently, like within the last couple of weeks, and it's a great game. I think getting off the board is a really good addition and helps in a lot of ways, but I think Underground doesn't really have the focus that 3 has in a way that can be kind of negative. Like, the story is fun and goofy and stuff, but there's just a lot of filler. Like, when you're racing a car in a Tony Hawk game, kind of think we're missing the plot a little bit, and that's something you do a number of times in Tony Hawk Underground. And so I think, you know, Tony Hawk 3, it's like, bitch, you're gonna do 2-minute runs and you better skate hard. And there's something I kind of respect about that.
25 seconds left.
There's also 2. To me, Mega Man and Tony Hawk are like Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3, Tony Hawk 2 or Tony Hawk 3. It's always
It's
the
2 or
round and round
3
we go.
for sure. Yeah.
And I haven't played any of those.
3 all day, every day.
2 is great.
I think mechanically 3 was.
What about
the
2?
best.
It doesn't have
Oh my
reverb.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the peak, I think, for me.
I didn't give
4
it a 10.
Four is
right?
also really good.
GameSpot.
GameStop gave it a 10.
Time.
How does he go last every time? How does this
Every
happen?
time.
I know.
So Don,
Is it really every time?
Yeah.
for your presentation, do
Yeah.
you want you said you wanted the camera big and the video small, or do you want how we've been doing?
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, how we've been doing is
Okay.
fine. Yeah, either way is fine actually.
Um,
I gotta present from back here.
You're presenting from back
I gotta
here.
Present from back
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So you don't want to.
Does anyone, any of the allies?
Are you starting, Don?
No, we're not.
Oh
starting.
my God.
Every fucking
The
time.
time will start.
Do any of the allies? I'm no shenanigans tonight. There's just a little disclaimer because I'm prepare to be thrilled. First of all, okay.
Are you
we go.
standing up like that?
Just for the beginning, for the video. I'm
Don,
standing
I'm
up.
gonna start your time.
No, I need to ask.
Wait, we haven't started. We haven't started.
Last year's
I got
question,
7
Don.
minutes. Remember?
Do you want
now,
audio on the
7
video or no?
minutes.
7 minutes. Does he have
Brad,
7
yeah, I gave
minutes?
I gave him 2. I gave him
Oh
2.
my
I thought I'd have
Audio
extra
on the
story
video or
now.
no?
Yes. Oh yeah, we need to turn the TV up. Crank it.
Oh, I'll
Oh my god, dude.
Just
Wow.
turn the salad mic off, and then it won't
Yeah.
echo for the.
But we need to
Oh,
hear
I
the
turned your guys'
allies
mics
too,
down,
because
too.
I expect everyone's going to get quite excited. So we probably want to hear a little bit of everything. But
It's like a React video.
loud TV.
All right, I'm gonna start
So
your
listen,
timer.
not
Don.
yet.
God damn it,
One
Don.
question. Any of you have an aversion to loud noise, flashing lights,
I
or
am
smoke
loud noise.
effects?
No.
I live for all 3 of those
Yeah.
things.
Damiani, are we all ready?
He does. I'm
Yo.
the play button.
Only
All right,
horror
go
nights.
ahead, Damiani. Turn that TV up. Louder. Here we go. There's the TV. Oh my God! Look at the TV.
Oh! This is gonna be here for a while.
Look at that.
It's looking good.
Look at this.
I hope you have
Poor
some
Brad.
luck.
That's good fun.
Yeah. Look at this music. Black metal.
You got me. Brad, you got it, man.
It smells like Halloween.
Is this?
I started this time.
Okay, so what you've all witnessed here is Destruction Derby 2.
Nice.
This was a PlayStation 1 game. I know that's hard to believe. This was one of the best of the era and has held up over time, okay? It's often overlooked in its importance, though, for being a pivotal contributor, laying the groundwork for the combat racing genre, which has evolved with Burnout, as we know, and modern alleged greats such as Wreckfest, which we can't officially call a great yet, but we all probably think it is. Listen. This was a racing game that was a pioneer in realistic vehicle body damage. To play it is to witness a spectacle of metal getting bashed and crumpled while explosions of shrapnel fly around your car, radiators pop, firing misty contrails, okay, from your engine. Wheels will become damaged, turning will become inoperable. The fast, hyper-realistic physics perfectly balanced between realistic collisions and arcade-style large-scale action, okay? There's no speed boosts here, no special items. It's only arcade-like in the scale of the jumps, the action and the collisions, okay? These are fast, difficult tracks featuring rolling hills, massive jumps, and ruthless. I wrote it twice here by accident, but I don't think it was an accident. Absolutely ruthless AI opponents.
Ooh.
Okay? As car damage progresses, it affects the mobility of the car, eventually catch fire and explode. You've got your color-coded damage indicators around the car in a HUD. This can be mitigated with pit stop systems, okay? Stop for a few brief seconds, spin the camera around the car, quickly repairing points of damage. It's held up over time. I went back, I played this for several days, okay, to give it an honest assessment, make sure it wasn't just rose-colored nostalgia. The racing mechanics are still there, like what Ben was saying with Tony Hawk, and solid. The racing gameplay is as intense as modern-day games, so like Wreckfest. And the special thing about going back and playing it now is you can see right before you the bones, the exact same bones of what now are still there. They've become fleshed out bodies, modern classics like Wreckfest, okay? The gameplay is actually more balanced, though, in some ways, such as having this division tier system. Now, what they do as you race over several seasons, you're automatically placed into one of 4 divisions, the whole field of cars. So unlike, you know, something like Wreckfest, you can actually be struggling over the course of several races seasons, but you can still be the leader in your division, looking to move up to the next division. It's a system that works so well, making sure you don't get discouraged while motivating you to do better, because it's an extremely difficult game. There's no choice in difficulty. So it has the effect of keeping you going and not getting, you know, scrubbing out. It's encouraging gameplay. High replayability, okay? It's just an elegant package. Performance as a PS1 game is remarkable. The gameplay prioritizes this smooth, fast, solid frame rate that doesn't falter. They prioritize that over draw distance, okay? PS1 had limitations, so the results are that there are graphical limitations, but they do not hinder the racing mechanics, the performance, the speed that results in incredibly intense, fun gameplay, okay? Replayability. Because you get points for damage dealt as well as position, you are able to employ several strategies to ultimately win in wreck racing over the season. So it's not just about winning the race. You can be struggling in the lower divisions, Jones. You can maybe even be 16th place in the race, and suddenly you take out some of the leaders, some of the damage points you get, and you're still in this whole thing, you know? So that's what really helps out, I think. Production values, as you heard, the soundtrack, thrash metal bands Jug and Tucson, okay, Ben? I don't know if you've heard of these guys. Jug was very big overseas in England, I've heard. And they were able to lock these guys up, okay, to do the entire exclusive soundtrack. That's not done anymore for a game, okay?
Wow.
And
They locked them up?
not to mention not to mention Paul Page, okay, 27-year play-by-play announcer for the Indy 500, Ben, also brought him in, locked him up. You probably heard some of his lines there being rattled off. That's something that doesn't get old either. Let's see, we have some extra time, so I'm going to go over some of my handwritten notes. As you race, as you continue to race, you know, maybe you're falling back in the pack, cars, littering, the road, burnt out, half exploded, you know. I mentioned it's an elegant package. It has everything it needs, nothing it doesn't, yeah? And the dev teams, going back to the AAA production on this, the dev teams, can you imagine them doing this for a PlayStation 1 game? They were sent to national parks. During some of my research, I found this out. Taking pictures of textures, rock textures, dirt textures. You could probably see those same textures implemented into the actual gameplay. It's remarkable to think they would do this with a PlayStation 1 game and that it would translate that way. So what can I say? Destruction Derby 2, I think it's nice to go back to pay respects to the roots.
Yellow card.
Time!
Yellow card.
Wait, didn't we give him like a half
extra.
hour?
We
That's
gave him
7 minutes! That was 7 minutes!
Oh, never mind.
Yeah! You pretty much did it all within the 7 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes over the average.
Yeah,
Great fog effects.
thank you.
Fantastic presentation.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was great.
We loved it, Don. It was great. It was a great presentation.
Very enjoyable.
Cool.
Hit me. Obviously, PlayStation 1 games can have as much charm to them as any other console, but when it comes to the car destruction,
Yeah.
I would want a later generation, or I would seek that, certainly, it's kind of the one thing, like the actual specific graphical detail of a card being destroyed.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You might not have seen some of it. There's a lot of fast-moving shots there. Every inch of the car's body gets damaged. We're talking about fenders, doors, taillights, everything.
Sit down,
the
Jones.
wheels can, I'm staying standing, I'm going. The wheels pop off, Jones, and sparks trail out. You get steam shooting out of the engine. You'll get fire on the car. I mean, other than it just being the limitations of what the PlayStation 1 could do, it's all there. Everything you could hope for. And so, same thing with the draw distance. It's a little bit affected. Some of the stuff is popping in here and there a little bit. But the point is, it doesn't take away from the thrill of it.
Don, I am unfamiliar with Destruction Derby 2, and you said something during your presentation, and I might be getting this wrong, but you said something during your presentation that I thought was really interesting. You were talking about, like, the race, but you were also getting, like, points for how well you were messing up other cars.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a lot of, like, interesting strategy there. So could you kind of dig into that a little bit more and explain like how that plays out depending on what track you're on?
So that's a really awesome part. Yeah, so you get various amounts of points depending what kind of damage you do, whether you actually take out other cars, et cetera, et cetera. So like for instance, just this morning when I was playing, you may finish depending on how, so let's say I was actually struggling, I was like 8th or something, and to the point where the leaders of the pack ended up starting lapping me. But when I was able to take out some of them, take out some of the damage, I actually finished 12th, but the point adjustment popped me up to 7th. So that's just a small example. And the thing is you go over the course of a season, and the seasons lead into the next season, and they continue, and with the points remaining. So it's like interesting how you can not just maybe be winning if you're in 3rd or 4th division down because you're not getting first place every time. You can still be winning the divisions, and you can still be actually keeping up. You're not just totally lost, after one season, depending if you're choosing to make destruction part of your strategy, falling back on that.
Don, is there an upgrade path? I played this game as a kid, but I can't remember, like, do you have a car that you're upgrading the whole time, or do you get new cars? Is there like a career path?
You don't really upgrade them. You just, there's a selection of cars, and you can only repair them during the race.
Okay.
Is there like a decent amount of tracks? I played a lot of the PS1 racers I remember back in the day that I played didn't have a lot, and they could be beaten in like an hour, it felt like.
Yeah.
Does this have enough to keep you going?
So it's got like about 7 tracks, and it's got the arenas that you also go in, the destruction arenas. And the thing is about the tracks is they're just really nice variety. And as you saw, it's really nice, like in terms of like elevation changes, jumps, all kinds of stuff like that. Branching paths, they have all of that. And because of the challenge of it, it's a really difficult game. It holds up in terms of you don't get tired of the same track. I mean, it's just precision racing. You need to really like master. You need to get a mastery over all the tracks, to be able to compete at a high level.
You referenced Wreckfest a lot, and I was getting some Burnout vibes in there as well. Why Destruction Derby 2 over Wreckfest? Is it just because it's older, or do you think it's just still a better game?
Exactly. Not necessarily better, but it's good enough, and it holds up good enough, and it's one of these titles that you just don't hear of a lot from that era, even though it was really, really significant. We know about Gran Turismo, we know about, Twisted Metal, all these games that we hear about so much. Destruction Derby 2 is basically one of these other pillars for combat racing that for some reason over the course of time just sort of like, isn't as notable. It hasn't been notated, even though the respect for it is there for people that have played it usually. So it was just about kind of like bouncing back and forth. I'm like, Wreckfest might still get its chance here, but right now it's a very like current, it's on people's minds. But it's just remarkable, and again, to say like going back playing Destruction Derby 2, physically the emotion you have while you're locked into these ultra competitive races where you can't make one single mistake, and these guys are breathing down your neck trying to take you out. The emotions and feelings and even mechanics are so similar to Wreckfest, except Wreckfest is like so much more polished just in terms of looks especially. It's just incredible though that like that same sensation is still there from a game that old. That's why I thought the roots of this game were significant enough that it's nice for us to be able to tip our hats to it a little bit.
This was a great rental as a kid, I remember.
Nice.
Thank you.
It smokes like in all the other rooms. That's what
Oh, really?
I go to the next room, it was like, whoa!
Smoke everywhere.
Making its way to the studio.
I'm glad we don't have a
And-
hyperactive
Yeah.
smoke alarm,
Yeah, I
or
was
we'd
gonna-
be out a lot of money.
Yeah, that's right. All right,
We don't
That's
everyone
it.
wins.
That's
Everyone's
7 games. Each of us will be given 3 werehogs, which we can put into tins that I've labeled.
6.
6, sorry,
Canisters?
6 werehogs.
Is that a canister?
There's several canisters.
There you go.
Canisters, plural.
Seven
Many.
canisters.
Many canisters.
Can I?
Each representing these games. You cannot vote for the game that you brought. Obviously, the one you're giving 3 to is getting more werehogs than the one you're giving 1 to. We don't want you to know what we're giving 3 or 2 or 1. So everyone's going to come in, say their game, say which games in any order they want. Alphabetical is a nice, safe way to do it. And then you put them in at the end so nobody knows what you voted for. Damiani tallies them up while we chit-chat when we get back in. And I'm starting this thing, so everybody get the hell out of here.
Ah!
Remember to center.
Center them.
Shouldn't. I was always manually doing it.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
Goodbye. Wait.
Look at these games.
Do you have the tarot cards so we know who's next?
Yeah, sure. Oh, you can bring them outside. Hi, everybody. Oh, we'll talk. I feel bad. I feel bad because things like Destruction Derby 2 and Streets of Rage 4 are obviously very special. They're games that should be celebrated. I feel bad giving anything to Mass Effect 2 because I haven't played it, but I am playing Mass Effect 1. I do have a frame of reference based on those trailers, new characters, what I hear about the gameplay, stuff that's changed. I trust that the writing is good. People say the writing in Mass Effect 2 is better than Mass Effect 1, and I'm enjoying Mass Effect 1 as much as I am. I feel like Mass Effect 2... I feel it's also, we cherish RPGs a lot here at Easy Allies, and certainly on the Hall of Greats, and I feel Mass Effect as a series, BioWare in general, I would like to see them represented in the Hall of Greats. I will give them 1 or 2 or 3 of these. And then, I also haven't finished, but I did a retrospective on the Final Fantasy series, and I learned as much about Final Fantasy X as one can learn in a very short amount of time. It's probably one of my favorite soundtracks, I think, in the series, among games that I have not played. I've played parts of 10, but I've just never really dove in and invested, and it was super tempting. I picked up 12, and that was remastered, but I didn't pick up 10. But I'll probably get bit by that. And then, as much as Ben did a really quality job explaining what he really liked about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Super Mario World, holy cow. It's just, yeah, that was one of the first video games I really got to enjoy all by myself. My brother and I played a lot of NES games, but by the time the Super Nintendo came along, my brother was not that invested, and so the Super Nintendo was really my console, and it all kicked off with that. And I spent many hours playing Super Mario World. So what will get what points out of all of those for me? I don't know. I didn't do them in alphabetical order. I kind of did reverse the middle and then the end. But yeah, those are the games getting votes from me tonight. Plunk these down. Thanks for watching, everybody. What are we at? Where are we? Clank, clankety clank. And then we'll clank. Clank, clankety clank. Clank, everybody. My phone. Like Galaxy of Heroes while I'm waiting. Next.
Hey Chet, how's it going? How you doing? Alright, so let's see here. Let me look at these games real quick. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. Okay, for one, I'm gonna have to pick Streets of Rage 4. I need that to be one, too. Definitely think it's one of the best beat-em-ups I've ever played. Granted, I haven't played nearly as many as Huber, but I've played a fair amount, and I think it's super good and super modernized. I think it's an excellent game worthy of being in here. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. To me, that was the pinnacle of the series for a long time. Really enjoyed that game. I spent a ton of time playing that game. That's where I fell off after also. So it was the highlight for me of the entire series. And let's see, what else do I want? What else? Man, I want to give Destruction Derby a shot. I'm so close. I'm torn between that and Final Fantasy X. Now, the presentation, I think, was great for both. I think I'm going to have to go with Final Fantasy X, though, over it. Just because I think it was an excellent Final Fantasy, especially at the time. It was a huge leap for the series. And I have really good, strong memories about it. I remember having granted, I haven't played in a long time, but I still think it's an excellent game from what I remember. And I'm sure it still is because it's very beloved still today. Oh, but Destruction Derby 2 is also really good. But yeah, I'm going to go Final Fantasy X. So those are my 3, chat. Let me put my chips in. Wow, that's loud. Alright, that's it for me. Bye, chat.
Hi. Oh, gotta get my chips. Oh, okay. Hello. This is a tight race. I'll just go down the list as they are there. Super Mario World, obviously a classic. I love it. This is why we didn't allow ourselves to hold these the whole time, because we would have just been doing that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 obviously was a lot of fun as a kid. I think I played 2 more than 3 though. Minecraft, obviously, I have a long history with Minecraft. Made a show in it. Love Minecraft. Mass Effect 2 is mine. Streets of Rage 4 I've only played on that group stream. And beat 'em ups aren't really my bag usually, but that one was really nice. And Final Fantasy X and X-2, I just have a massive... I love that game. I love Final Fantasy X. And Destruction Derby 2, I thought Don's presentation was incredible. So my 3, I think, are going to have to be, in no particular order, Destruction Derby 2, Super Mario World, and Final Fantasy X, I think? I tried to do that alphabetically, but I didn't, because I forgot how the alphabet goes. But those are my 3. Let me put the things in now. How do you do that? Okay. Hi. I guess I might have been the first one to do something in there. Okay. Next up.
Alright. What's up, chat? What do we got? I feel like I need to give Dawn some love. I feel conflicted. That production values from Dawn were really good. Dawn is an entertainer. Can I give all 6 chips just to my pick? Would they notice? Yeah, they notice. Alright. Some good presentations. I'm so torn. so torn. I was thinking about it before. Now I see these logos. I mean, I've played so much Streets of Rage 4 with Huber, and that Mr. X's Nightmare. The thing is, Mr. X's Nightmare DLC is phenomenal. I talked up with my roommate Simmons, and pretty sure Simmons convinced Max and them to go play it, and they had a blast with it. So like that mode is fantastic, and I think Streets of Rage should become a platform to build upon it. While I enjoyed the main game, I wasn't as attached to it as Huber. So, and I mean, there's a lot of passion though there. So maybe Streets of Rage makes it. Really liked Isla's video on Mass Effect 2. That was fun. Man, Ben's talk about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, because same thing with me. I played on GameCube. I got like around the launch window of GameCube. Had so much fun with it, and just having Ben talk about it and reminding me of all the like airport, I was like, oh gosh, yes, and the Ace of Spades. But then you got Super Mario World. Oh, this is tough, chat. This is tough. All right, I'm gonna value. I'm gonna value production. I'm gonna value the production. So I think the three that will be getting my chips will be. All right, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Super Mario World, and Destruction Derby 2. Yes. Okay. Yes. Those will be getting my chips. Destruction Derby 2. I'm going up down. Destruction Derby 2. Tony Hawk. Super Mario World. Those are the three that are getting it. All right. Whew. Shaking them all so you can't hear. Watch this chat, you'll never guess this. Ha!
What's up? What's up? What's up? Chips. Pretty good games tonight. Pretty good games. None of the presentations, though, blew me away. I'm not saying I ever give good presentations. That's why I don't get many entries in the Hall of Greats, but I think overall the presentations were a little weak. Chat, agree or disagree? They felt phoned in. Just my 2 cents. Oh, Mass Effect 2. I'm still a little salty because I was going to pick that game because I just played it, and as you know, I've hyped it up for the last couple months. So the disrespect of someone snaking that just stings. Also, the whole thing was about sex and like sleeping with crewmates, but that's not why I play Mass Effect. So that one didn't really speak to me. Final Fantasy X is a timeless classic. Destruction Derby 2 easily had the best presentation. As I said, they felt phoned in tonight, chat. But the Destruction Derby 2 presentation, even if it was all just smoke and mirrors, I felt the effort, I felt the passion, and Tony Hawk 3, obviously, I'm just so sick and tired of obvious choices too, like Super Mario World, just such an uninspired pick.
you know, it's like I like 3 and 64 more, and they're both already in. Am I really gonna help a third Mario game get in? They're all 10s. Does it really need to be in the Hall of Greats? We know every mainline Mario and Zelda is a 10. What's even the point? Why does it even need to be represented here? Minecraft, admittedly, I just don't have much experience with. And I could have used some visual aids, Jones, honestly. So with that being said, my choices are going to be in no particular order. Destruction Derby 2, because it was the best presentation. Final Fantasy X was the most passionate plea. I really felt it from Damiani. But again, another Final Fantasy game in the Hall of Greats. Like, it's just so obvious. Alright, well, you know, it is what it is. It was the best presentation, and I do love that game quite a bit. So I guess it's going to be Destruction Derby 2, Final Fantasy X, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. In no particular order. I'm not telling you my rankings, but I will now give my votes to the games. I'm stalling because I don't know which I'm giving the most. Alright, chat. GG's. Love and respect. Alright. Someone's up.
Okay. As always with Hall of Greats, extremely tricky. I feel very similarly about a lot of these games, I feel like. And so it's hard. You're just going to have to make hard decisions. And, man. Final Fantasy X, I think, is just, like, personally a big game for me. It really resonated with me emotionally. And that was after really resonating with, 7, 8, and 9. 10 kind of felt like 7 again, but on a new generation of hardware. And I think going back to it, it's still a really impressive game. And so there's a lot of personal feelings going into that. Super Mario World, I think, is just damn near perfect. So it's really hard to say anything bad about it. Minecraft, also just an incredible game. So is Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is how I wish a BioWare game could make me feel again. I remember being in college and just like the world literally melting away as I played Mass Effect 2. And I really enjoyed Mass Effect 1, but Mass Effect 2 was just on a whole nother level. So there's a lot to think about here. Dawn's Destruction Derby 2 presentation was super fun. It's hard because I have zero experience with that game, unlike every other game on this list. So it's tricky. It's a tricky one.
Good evening. Hello. All right, let's see. Okay. These are all really good, obviously. Okay. So, the 3 games I am choosing are Damiani's presentation for Final Fantasy was so good. And on one of the Final Fantasies that I'm actually not as so familiar with, he really communicated quite clearly, I think, what is so great about that game. So, I'm going to vote for Final Fantasy, and I think Michael Huber absolutely hit it on the head. Streets of Rage 4, without a doubt, one of the best beat-em-ups of all time. It's remarkable to have a modern-day beat-em-up that blends old and new so well. So that's getting the vote. And third, as you can likely predict, is Super Mario World. It is my favorite 2D Mario, and I thought that it was presented really well also. All right, I'm gonna drop them in. Let's see. One for that one. Mixing them up so you don't know. 1, 2, 3, and last but not least, wait. Oh no. I hope I didn't mix that up. There we go. That should be right. Okay. Alright, done.
What's it gonna be?
It's jury duty vibes. After doing it, it's like, all right, everybody back in.
Oh, don't say it to me.
All rise.
Mine's coming up.
I know.
Don't say that.
I got really lucky. I got something for jury duty and never had to go in. It was awesome.
I got on a jury, but they threw it out, and so I'm
Never
yeah.
been to jury duty in my
Right,
life.
right.
Never been in my life.
So there's a pretty good vibe going through EZA right now in terms of getting out of it
Ever.
with minimal pressure.
Every time they tried to get me, I was like out of state or like out of city. I was like gone, dude. It was so every time.
You sound like a crime lawyer.
Yeah, that's what it felt like,
I
honestly.
was out of state.
I was out of state.
No longer in your jurisdiction.
Yeah. Gone. I thought they were finally gonna get me a couple weeks ago, this newest one, and it was over. That was
When
it.
you move, apparently. I overheard one of the clerks talking, and she's like, we get you when you move.
It's weird. Every single time I vote, or
Somebody
I
gets a
get
new
parking
address.
ticket,
and-
I always get
Voting, I've
They
heard
send
that.
one out
Voting and parking
right away.
Voting or parking tickets.
I have to go to a lot of jury duty.
Did you already count them, Damiani?
No.
Oh.
So,
I want to play Destruction Derby 2. I want to play it right now.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I gotta
Do you
have a
have
disc and a PS3, right?
I was playing it on PS2,
Okay.
but you gotta have the disc.
Is it on
Yeah.
PSN? Do you know? Like PS3, PSN?
Don't think so, but I don't know.
Hidden gem.
Can I
Possibly
look it
could
up
be.
right this second?
I want to play it while listening to the soundtrack from Final Fantasy X and downloading Streets of Rage 4.
You're gonna
later.
forsake Jug and
Why
Tucson?
have you forsaken me?
Chug.
Jug
Man,
and
the
Tucson?
Final
or
Fantasy
whatever?
X soundtrack is truly
God tier.
amazing.
That's a good one.
Do they? Dress spheres are in both, right?
No,
No,
that's
just
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Dress food.
You count.
Which
Love
he
Just
showed
Dance.
for a hot second. I think there was some.
He showed
It was
a lot
the
of
10
10
remaster.
a lot of 10-2 footage. in
Oh, it was
there.
the
Yeah,
rebound,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty misleading, but I got it. I understood. Hopefully the other voters did.
It really was that dress shot that really put me over the edge. Well,
I loved
you'd
the
be sad
outfits
to
in
know
two.
that wasn't even that
The
game.
dress fear system is super fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
One of the best.
Fashion Souls.
Dressers rule.
I don't know if this is just the people I follow, but every now and then I'll just see somebody that's like, God damn, it's just so good. Like on
Yeah.
Twitter, so.
10 is good, dude.
Yeah.
You've never
Beloved,
played it?
for sure. No,
10 is
never
good.
did. Never made the commitment.
It's really good.
I've like seen every cutscene.
It might
It's
even
also
be great.
like not that this applies to you, but it's one where like sometimes I get asked like what is the first Final Fantasy game that I should play, and it's like 10 comes to mind. Like, it's really good for that.
Clankety clank.
Yeah, 7 might not be a good first one.
9 though.
9 is probably a really good first.
Yeah, but 9 has so many references in it that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
might be
Nine's
better
more like a
served.
celebration of the series.
Spoken
How
to
weird
true
would it be
veterans.
to just play Mass Effect 2? Just jump in.
Not weird at all.
Yeah? They
I think
They
even
set it
they
up.
have the little questionnaire at the beginning where they're like, "Who'd you kill?"
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly,
they do that.
That's what I was gonna
They did
ask.
do
Who'd
that.
you
I was
fucking
gonna
who'd you
say,
kill?
like, how...
If you're gonna play Mass Effect though, like
You might as
do
well
the
do
whole
it.
the
Yeah.
whole
Owe it
trilogy.
to
That's what
yourself
I was
to play
gonna
that.
ask.
You
Like,
really,
how-
it's better to do.
How critical would it be for, like, could someone just play 2 as a singular experience
I mean,
and be satisfied?
I
or would
guess
they-
you could.
Retrospectively, yes, but
Yeah.
a newcomer, no.
The thing is
if
like
I'm gonna go in and play, I would skip one.
if you play Mass Effect 2
I
as your
played
first Mass Effect, by the time you finish it, you're gonna regret not having played Mass Effect 1.
Yeah,
But then not to go on to 3 and you'd be fine?
I never finished 3. I
never
played like
played
half
3.
of it, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Do I have to play Destruction Derby 1?
Yes,
To appreciate
Lot of
how they
continuity.
improved too,
Okay.
but no, other than...
you'll really be confused on the story if you skip one.
It actually,
That announcer's gonna come out of
it's-
nowhere. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I wish I had some context in this announcer before I.
It's quite different from
I'm
the
supposed to
first.
hit the cars into each other?
I'm supposed to
I'm
crash?
supposed to destruct? The hell is this?
Burnout Paradise is so good.
Yeah.
It is really good.
Just throwing that up.
I was just thinking about
dude,
like,
such
man,
a
I should
10.
bring Burnout Paradise. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
10.
Burnout 3 is a 10.
Did they use
Burnout 3 is
the
also very
Paradise
good.
City song?
Yes,
Walk
they
the
did.
Line?
It's the main
better than
menu.
Paradise.
It's the main menu
Yeah,
song.
to the
It's
point
on the main menu.
to the point where it gets annoying.
Yeah.
yeah.
Literally that song?
Yes, no, like every time you boot it up.
Beat up.
That's so
They also
Yeah.
have a
Burnout 3
Midtown
is
song,
so good.
which is like one of my favorite pop punk bands of all time, and they're like super underground.
I mean, the Burnout Paradise
And
soundtrack
it's in there.
is aces.
It's really cool.
Pop punk is my least favorite genre of music.
It's making a comeback. Thank you, Gen Z. Let's go. Bring it back.
All things
Thank
come
you,
back.
The
There's a
90s
lot of good pop punk.
The early
It's a
2000s
pretty
and late
broad
90s were
genre.
shitty the first time.
I do not see Destruction Derby on here,
Sad.
but it could just be a PlayStation app problem.
Thanks, Gen Z.
We're bringing it back, I swear.
Come
Final
on,
Fantasy
PlayStation.
Tactics on Steam.
No.
Shit.
Oh, if only.
Yeah,
oh, if only.
Best way to play it's on Vita. PS1 Classic.
Or phone.
Yeah,
War of
well,
the Lions.
what
War
you're
Lions
talking
are
about,
fun.
War of the Lions on PSP, it's
On
great, but it
PSP,
has
yeah.
weird slowdown that's super
Yeah.
fucking annoying.
That is weird.
Yes,
I'd been playing
Come
it
on,
on my
so you can
Vita,
emulate it.
and then I lost my charger.
Aww.
Years and years
They
ago.
just need to re-release Final Fantasy
fucking
Tactics.
They
re-release
need to put it on
it.
Switch and Steam
It's
Deck.
Put it on
fucking-
everything.
It's
Put it on
fucking
everything.
stupid.
But they're
yeah,
gonna
it's a
release
perfect
the
Steam Deck game.
pixel
Yeah.
version
All right.
first.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Here we
Alright.
go.
Tallies.
Alright.
Is sound mic on?
Chat, can you hear me very well?
Oh.
It's on.
I was just asking.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, yes.
Uh-huh.
So one no, but a lot of yeses.
Ban that
I think they
person.
said no
Man,
to Are
no.
You Ready, maybe.
Man.
Oh, okay. So you are ready?
One no, but a lot of yeses.
All right. Let's get this out of the way. So we will go from last upward.
Right.
And then when we get to the top 3, we will reveal the first place winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll reveal who's in contention for that last slot.
We got it down to
Dami-
science.
Damiani, I also love max context. I would like to know before we begin the currently banned games.
All right. So the current
Maximum
banned
context.
games
So what
are
will be
all
joining
of-
the currently banned games?
I would like to
I know
know-
Dead Rising is one of them.
Some of
That's
my
me.
bands
Literally
must have
right here.
expired.
I would like to know all the banned games and the
Current
exact
banned
date they were
games
banned.
are Dishonored 2 is banned until Q1 of
Don't disappoint me. You
2022.
didn't give it a point.
Dead Rising is banned until Q4 of this year.
How did Dead Rising?
And the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim
Yeah.
is banned until Q4.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Good band.
Hunt Down, Dawn's
All
Hunt
of my
Down
bands have
became
expired?
eligible
Oh.
this time.
Hunt Down's eligible.
Hunt Down is now eligible.
Along with all my
Damn.
other bands, right? Yeah, I guess.
All my other bands.
Oh, my other bands.
Don, do you have the most bands?
Dawn's
should
bands were only Hunt Down,
No.
Super Mario Maker, Jurassic Park, Operation Genesis,
That
and
was banned.
Sim City.
Those are all
That
Some
was
harsh
it. That was
bands.
Those are all great picks. though.
Damn.
Now remember,
Oh,
World
correction. Hold on. There's this major error in the history of Holograms.
Banned.
It was SimCity 4. I don't know how. I never brought SimCity. I brought SimCity
You brought
4.
SimCity 4.
Oh,
But
okay.
somehow, in the history
Correct
of
it.
Holograms,
Yikes.
fix that.
Correct
chat.
archive.
I'm sure it'll come
Now
out.
remember,
Gotta start over.
Jones had World of Warcraft brought and it got banned.
And then it got entered.
And then I got in.
got
in.
Band is not
Yeah.
endless.
I hear that game's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, karma comes back to bite you in the ass. So
Jumping in, the
Hill.
water's fine.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 was brought maybe the most times and
many
then got
times
the
to
most
play World of
votes of
Warcraft
that
right
night
now.
that it got in, I think.
Better than ever.
All right.
all right. So
Thank you for that, Damiani.
With that history lesson,
Thank you.
there will be an addition to the band
Here we
list.
go.
There will be a 0 vote band until Q3
Okay.
of 2022.
Yep.
So you
feel
also
like you're
want to
going to
update
jail.
that. Unfortunately, coming in last place with 0 votes.
Don't hurt me.
What?
What?
Say goodbye to Minecraft.
Yep.
Minecraft.
That tin felt a little light when I was bringing those over. I was like, shake,
I'm gonna
shake.
hide this
Uh-oh.
from you too.
Man,
so you don't
Minecraft is
see you
banned?
mousing over.
Banned.
That doesn't make sense.
We can't tell.
Banned.
Banned.
Minecraft, dude.
Banned.
I'm surprised you didn't vote for Minecraft.
Fuck Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just
No,
say, yeah.
I like Minecraft.
The last time I checked in, you love Minecraft.
No, Minecraft is great.
All right.
And what's good?
Coming in.
Okay.
That's why I'm not gonna bring Fortnite for another 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah, wait it out.
Coming in 6th place with 2 votes, we have to say farewell to Mass Effect 2.
Oh, wow.
That's surprising.
You asshole.
I was one of those 2 votes. I was one of those 2
Did you
votes.
even vote for it? You
I guess you
snake in
never
the
gonna
grass?
play that one, huh?
Snake in the grass?
Snake in the grass.
God damn.
It's really telling. Wow.
I don't know if it mattered.
Wow.
You didn't even vote.
I voted for it.
I don't know.
Thank you, Bad.
You're welcome.
It's a good game.
It's a great
Wow.
game. I
I
would
love our
say.
guild trip.
You guys aren't horny enough.
No,
I think that's
I
the
voted
case.
for it.
Me too.
Yeah, he's right there with
Did you say you too?
I'm horny. I mean, I voted for it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was horny when I voted. I don't know.
I don't remember what I voted for now.
All right, so we have a very weird situation. I will reveal the first place winner.
Oh my
because
God.
You're really, why are we revealing
Oh,
it
no,
already?
please
'Cause
don't.
we have a major traffic jam.
Oh no!
I love this.
It's like a 4-way tie?
So let me
They all
reveal the
get
first
in.
place winner. I'll reveal the first place winner.
Oh no.
So one of your first inductees with 13 votes is Final Fantasy X.
Nice.
13
Nice.
votes.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
that 6, 7, and 10 now?
That's a lot.
So
That's a lot of them.
the following games are in contention for the last slot.
Wow.
And there's a multi-way tie for 3 of them. Wow. So, the following games are in contention here.
Are in, right?
They're in contention.
They
Only
depend
one
on
of
the
these 4 will get in, but they're tied up and close.
Wow.
This includes Destruction Derby 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3,
Wow.
Streets of Rage 4, and Super Mario World.
They're all in.
They're all in.
Wow.
Wait, they're all tied?
Yeah, so.
No, 3 of them are tied. One of them isn't.
Yes.
Oh, Damiani's being a little
Oh.
weird.
Oh, that was cruel and unjust.
All
Well,
right.
at least we made talk.
Well,
He said that.
Patrons don't
You just
get
gotta pay
the vote.
attention.
I heard him.
it's what it is. I don't know how other way to put it. Where the third place games all tied with the same amount of votes, but your second inductee.
Wait, how many votes did those have?
I'll tell you in just a second.
Oh my god! I don't understand why you're doing it this way.
Because it's their drama. Your second inductee of the night is Super Mario World with 12 votes. Unfortunately, Streets of Rage 4, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and Destruction Derby 2 all tied for third place with 5 votes.
Third place, Don.
Five votes.
Don, third place.
Don, third place.
Wow.
Feeling great.
I am the hungriest to play Destruction Derby 2 out of all of the games
Oh,
tonight.
yeah.
I gotta be honest.
So there you go.
There it is.
So another Mario and another Final Fantasy?
But the thing
All
is,
right, you're up.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Have at it, Hubert.
No, that
but the thing is,
it is what it is.
9's not in there, and that irks me. That's
Right.
like all I'm thinking is about
Yeah.
bringing 9 next time. Choose me a
Then
9 in
fucking
there.
bring it.
Okay, so what was the game that
It
5
hurts me
people wanted
too.
to bring but
Yeah,
then
what was
chickened
the
out?
other?
Okay, so the game that everyone kept flip-flopping on was Hollow Knight.
Oh,
I didn't flip-flop on shit, by the way.
I don't know. Ben did not
I didn't
flip-flop on
flip
it.
flop on shit.
I was gonna bring it, but I got cold feet.
I think these two would have beat it.
I don't know. Hollow Knight's
I
pretty
think
fucking
Hollow Knight
good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hollow Knight is a threat.
Don't sleep on Ender Lilies. It's
Dude,
pretty good.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, like, spiritually is in.
Silk Song tomorrow.
What?
Nintendo Showcase. Let's go.
Don't do
That's
that. please.
tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Oh God.
Silk Song.
What time's that at?
9 a.m.
I'm not getting up for that.
Ooh wee. We are Easy Allies, and we gotta shoot this. We have stuff to shoot.
We got
Stream
stuff
to
it,
do.
shooting.
Yep.
Patreon.com/Easy Allies if you want to support us. Yeah, stick around. Twitch.tv/Easy Allies if you want this guy's. If you want to see this guy do one of the things he does best.
Not just me, special guest coming into the studio
Woo!
to do the dojo with me.
It's like
8:30.
Tigger. Been watching lots of
Special
Winnie the Pooh, Brad. Fighting games are what Ben does the best.
Only that were true.
EasyAllies.com. You can check out our schedule, all the other stuff that's coming, scheduled shoots and live streams. You're streaming a ton this week. Shout out to Ben. We're streaming a bunch.
Well, I have a new addiction
Ah.
called Final Fantasy 14, and I
Yay!
Turn the addiction into work.
I'm giving in to
Yay,
it.
addictions! I have an
Smart
addiction. It's called
move.
Valheim.
Smart move.
Monetize that
Yeah.
addiction.
If you want to lament with me, Mass Effect 2 getting, only a couple votes there. I'll be streaming it tomorrow morning. We can play Mass Effect together.
Mass Effect 1.
I was like,
Mass
you haven't
Effect
even played
1.
2 yet.
Your main theme of your video was romance, and I didn't do that in Mass Effect, so I didn't vote for it.
That was only
Yeah.
the middle portion.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. The
There's a lot of it.
presentation is so
It
much
was,
of how I vote.
it was a lot.
It's
That's not
so
true.
much
It was a
of how
lot.
I give my points.
That's not true.
Check all the tapes. It's how I vote. Is the
I'm not
bottom
mad
of
at
it.
you. I don't
Check
give a shit.
all
Yeah.
the
All of them.
I don't give a
everyone.
shit.
Yeah.
VHS
game.
copy of Weekend at Bernie's. Check it.
Sorry.
YouTube.com/Easy Allies. Or
gonna
Easy Allies
break?
Plays if you want to see our old streams. And you commented, Isla, when we were on break. It was good Hall of Greats. Felt good. I enjoyed this a lot. Yeah.
this Hall of
a little
Greats?
stressful, but it was.
I
good
make
vibes.
a video so I don't have to be stressed.
I like doing it in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should do that next time. Thank
I
you
just
for
like
all of
showing
your
pictures
I don't know
of
how
Tony
to
Hawk.
edit videos, so I
That was a warm. That was a lesson for everyone who doesn't know what he looks
That was a
like.
masterful Tony Hawk picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I need
just,
to watch you.
yeah, I just want to
Yeah,
show
that was
pictures
good.
of Tony
That
Hawk.
was a
Yeah.
good Tony Hawk.
What'd you
pick.
vote
Thank you for managing all of the text and images and all that stuff, Damiani. And shout out to Daniel Black who couldn't be there tonight, but who we love.
Miss you.
And we love our community. Thank you for that we shut off, that we blinded ourselves from our community tonight.
I was keeping tabs.
We'll be streaming a read and chat very soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.